welcome to Tea Time. It's Tea Time with Miss Liz again. That's right. And in the studio tonight, I'm joined with WYJUANA Montgomery. I got it right. So I'm in the background here in the back of the studio, just practicing her name so I could get it right. So I'm going to share a little bit on WYJUANA, and then we're going to get into the incredible work that this woman does and all of that good, juicy stuff. So I have a bunch of questions here for you that I've put on the side, and we'll get into them. So a little bit on WYJUANA. She's a Seattle native. WYJUANA Montgomery is an international speaker and two-time award-winning author and owner of WYJUANA Speaks Consulting LLC. She holds a BA in Africa and African American Studies from Duke University and an MA in Organizational Management from Ashford University. Fueled by her passion for mentoring, she is founded Reach Forward in 2014, which is now Reach Forward Foundation, a nonprofit membership program for youths in grades 6 to 12. In October 2020, Reach Forward Foundation was recognized by the Journal Record, or Oklahoma City-based business publication, as one of 5 2020 programs making a difference. I love that it says making a difference.
Yes.
Because that's what we're here for. WYJUANA, she also created the No Fear Ladies Conference in 2014, which empowers and inspires women, teen girls from across Oklahoma and the United States. In 2016, WYJUANA published her first book, Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a No Fear Success Guide for Teen Girls, which you can find on my Facebook page as well. I've shared that. And WYJUANA continued traveling the world using the WYJUANA Speaks platform to share her message of no fear in women and youth empowerment. WYJUANA and youth empowerment. WYJUANA is now at work on a second book, The Pain of Being Destined for More, and continues to grow for Reach Forward Foundation. She is also a wife of 21 years, a mother, a Mimi, aka grandmother. Oh, I like that, Mimi.
Yeah.
And mentor to many. So welcome to the studio tonight, WYJUANA. I got it. I've been practicing it. I was like in the back, I was like, oh my God, let's just get this right. So welcome to the studio. And to get started, how did your journey begin? Like, what is the backstory behind who WYJUANA is today?
So I feel like even as a child, I mean, I was born weighing 1 pound, 14 ounces and was only 12 inches long because my mother was only 5 months and 22 days pregnant. So I feel like if you come through something like that, there's an obvious reason for you to be on earth and there's no time to waste. So with the speaking, as I grew, I was that child that could get like the Easter speech that was 2 pages long as a 4 or 5 year old and almost have the entire thing memorized before I even left church. So as I got older and discovered that I actually enjoyed speaking in young adulthood, I recognized that girls love me. You know, how can you work with teenage girls if they don't like talking to you and hanging out? They love me. I guess I'm kind of like the extra big sister. In that safe space, I'm very transparent and I'm very open. So as I began to mentor girls individually and also finding that women enjoyed coming to me, it just sort of became this thing, with creating the conference, writing the book, and just being involved as much as I can with inspiring and encouraging and just bringing my story to empower others to use their voice and share their story.
So your backstory, I read a little bit on it. Do you care to share a little bit on your backstory on why empowerment for teen girls is so important to you?
So first of all, it might not look like it, but I've been one before. Imagine that.
We do all grow up, right?
Right. Inside of every woman is a teen girl and that little girl that we used to be. And I realized how important that extra voice is, that other person in the village, so to speak, as the African proverb goes, it takes a village to raise a child, because I was molested from the age of 11 to 12 by my mother's boyfriend. Now, once I told her about it, she believed me. So I didn't have that added trauma of not being believed and all of that. But that opens you up to so many things that you shouldn't even know about. And there's so many questions, and how do I navigate this and that? And, you know, my mother's, I'm 43. So my mother's of the don't ask, don't tell generation. Don't ask me anything that might raise my eyebrows, and I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't want you to know. But I realize it's important to have that other voice. I had other people that I could ask the questions to and talk to without judgment or without, thinking it's running me in the wrong direction. I'm asking because I trust you for the right information. And I realize when a young lady doesn't have that, she can go in a whole different direction that's not going to turn out good. So I wanted to be part of that support system, both for the parents and the guardians, and definitely the young lady herself. There has to be other positive sounding boards so that she can grow and have the right information and just someone to come to, because it's very dangerous. We all know. You're wondering about sex and this and that, and you're asking the fellow 13-year-old? I don't think so. You're getting all the wrong information. So
where does the no fear come from?
So that is pretty interesting. In 2014, I went to another women's conference, like in March of that year, an entrepreneur, kind of like a business coaching type thing, helping budding entrepreneurs or people who desire to be an entrepreneur. And I was really inspired by her platform. And so later in the year, you know, I was talking to my husband. He's kind of like, you should start your own conference. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that. Who has time to create a whole? And he's like, yes, you do. You get a team, you get volunteers, you know other speakers, you do speak. By the way, 2014 is really the first time that I literally went to a business networking event and said out loud, I'm a public speaker.
Oh, wow.
And that was so powerful when you say it.
Yeah.
In 3 days, I had 6 speaking engagements that didn't include my own conference. When you put it out into the atmosphere, it does something. The words keep traveling and it like becomes a reality. So the no fear came. I thought, as a woman, I feel like that's the biggest blocker that women have. Fear for a variety of reasons. We can name them. I'm too young. I'm too old. I have children. I don't have children. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough money. We can go on and on. And when you get to the bottom of all of those things, it's fear. Yep. So that's where the excuses come in for not doing what you're called to do, what you want to do, what you would like to learn. It's fear. And so I thought, let's bring together this event and women and teen girls from all walks of life, and let's dissect this no fear thing. But here's what happened to me. 3 days before the conference, I was literally just in a drive-through paying my car note. And all of a sudden, it's like God just gave me a download of what no fear really stood for in my conference. We're not just talking about not being afraid. It's an acronym that just came to me, and it stands for never let anyone tell you what you cannot do. Open your mind to the possibility of your greatness. Fight for what you want. Expose yourself to new things. Act on opportunities to launch yourself and reach forward. That literally came to me 3 days before the first No Fear Ladies Conference.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it's not a Christian conference. It's for anybody. That's who I am, but it's not a Christian conference. I've got Muslim friends who come, folks who don't have any particular faith passage or whatever. It's for everybody. But the acronym literally came to me, and we have just moved with it ever since, like keeping that in the forefront. And the mission of that has been simple. Whatever a woman or a teen girl walks in the door thinking, I want to do this, I'm called to do this, I want to explore this, when they leave, they should at least be ready to make the first baby step towards it. You should have heard something, even if it was just one speaker on the platform that's got you empowered and ready to go after it, get after it. I don't want you to come back next year because you enjoyed it and you're still talking about the same thing that you should have started on.
Exactly, right?
Right.
You had a whole year there.
Exactly.
So with the book, the book is called Bold, Brave, and Courageous. Are those three things that mean something to you? Those three words? Like, is that how you got the title? Like,
if I'm being honest, I had actually started a business coaching program, and it's a classmate of mine who I went to Duke with. We're also in the same sorority, so it's really cool. And her first assignment before we began the year-long program was to write a letter to ourselves. And it's amazing what comes out. I'm looking in the camera to let you know, in case you haven't written yourself a letter, I highly recommend it. It's amazing what comes out when you sit down to write a letter to yourself.
Yeah.
And when she read the letter, and then we had our follow-up consult, she said, you know what? Yes, you're speaking, and you speak to women and business people and all that. You have all the content, and most importantly, all of the experience to write a book for teen girls. You wouldn't be writing a book and then trying to convince everyone why you're the expert. You've already been doing the work. The book would just bring the message into a format where girls all over the country and even all over the world who may not get the chance to ever meet you in person could have that no fear message. Yeah. So I knew, because I've always had, there's an adult version and a teen girl version. No fear applies to everyone. It's just the context is different for a teen girl as opposed to an adult. You know, for a teen girl, we might need to help you have no fear when it comes to being in your own skin, your self-esteem, your unique style, speaking up, all of those things. I hadn't thought about writing, even though all through school, I was a good writer. I was the advanced placement literature student of the year, but I had never thought about writing a book. And she planted that thought, and I was like, maybe there's something to it. So as far as the title, I felt like no fear was part of it, but actually she's the one who came up. She's like, I feel like your message and everything you're talking about has something to do with being bold, brave, and courageous. And of course, those are some words that I don't want to misquote. I believe civil rights leader John Lewis is famous for putting those words together in a speech as well. And so she's like, that's really what you're trying to get girls to do in this book. And it's what you're trying to get girls and women to accomplish when they attend your conference. So that part was kind of her idea. She tossed that out. And then I thought it's a no fear success guide, because if they follow the tenets of the no fear acronym, which is what each chapter is about, one of those. And then I opened it up with a personal story about myself when I learned that particular lesson. I might have been 8 years old. I might have been in high school. It might have been college. But we put that together, and I'm like, that in a nutshell is what I want teen girls to get to when they're reading those. And the women, you know, you buy it for your daughter, and then everyone reads it first. They want to make sure they approve and all of that. I've heard grown women say, you know what, I bought this for my daughter, but now I need a new copy because I ended up highlighting it for myself.
I do that. I buy books and then I'll pass them on to my daughter because she likes to read too. And I'm just like, now I got to get another copy because I really like that book.
Yeah, that has happened.
I like the title of it, the bold, brave, courageous, because when you say those words, they are empowering, you know, you empower, because you don't say bold, like, you know, you don't get all like
you
down.
Say it with bold.
You know, you're up there.
Oh, brave, courageous. Yeah.
You know, when you say those words, they're empowering. And that's what we need out there, is we need these words to empower our children and our youths and all that, especially the youths. The youths are going through so much that we need to empower them, especially young ladies, you know. The boys are going through a lot too, but young ladies, I find, are having more struggles because their bodies are changing, right?
Right.
So, like, boys change too, but I mean, girls have more of a change. So
that's a whole other show, Miss Liz.
Yeah, a whole other kind of tea time there.
Yeah.
So I did do some more research on you, and there was the Reach Forward Foundation, and we were talking about that a little bit before the show started. So could you tell the viewers out there a little bit about that and how that works? And then you said you had some updates on that foundation as well, I believe, right?
Yes. So in my own local community, you know, I've been mentoring girls individually, just kind of, you know, how they just kind of fall in your lap. She's the babysitter, and now you're spending more and more time talking to her. Her mom is sharing about what's going on, this and that. So I was mentoring girls informally for years. My husband was informally mentoring boys because we also have a son. Like right now, we have a 19-year-old son, we have a 14-year-old daughter, and a 15-year-old niece who we also have legal guardianship of. And so we were informally mentoring young people for years. And then finally we got smart and we're like, okay, why don't we formalize this thing where we can get some help, have a board, really blow it out. So in my own local community where I live in Oklahoma City and, the surrounding metro area, we started Reach Forward Foundation, which is a youth mentorship program, a nonprofit youth mentorship program in January of 2018. And our mission is pretty simple. We want to build productive youth citizens, thoughtful and productive youth citizens, by supporting them with fun and interactive educational activities, helping them with good decision making, broadening their horizons, and just helping them grow as youth citizens in general. So typically it's for 6th through 12th grade boys and girls, or I'll say young men and young ladies. The core things that we make sure we do every single year, we have like a kickoff for the beginning of the school year. In November, we go and serve meals at the largest homeless shelter in the city. We've got to remind kids to be thankful. A lot of them are so entitled, they're not thankful.
Oh my goodness, aren't they ever?
And while they're pouting because you didn't buy the latest pair of shoes they want, someone else is wishing they had a cup of soup or anything to eat. We do a holiday celebration. We do ACT prep to get them ready for college. We do a college visit. And then in the summer, because there are a lot of families that kids don't get to go anywhere. Or a lot of times you've grown up someplace and you take it for granted. So in every June, we do a summer fun trip. So actually this coming Saturday is the kids, we let them plan it. They're doing Oklahoma as part of historic Route 66. We're doing a Route 66 summer adventure. We're going to eat at a renowned barbecue place. It's so famous. They're only open on the weekend. That's how popular they are. They don't even have to open the rest of the time.
I always wanted to try that Route 66. There's so much going on that Route 66. I always hear about it. I'm like, I got to check that out.
Yeah. So we're having lunch. Then we're going to Pops, which is a famous 50s style diner / store that sells all the old fashioned candy that was around when I was a kid. And then you can buy your own custom 6-pack of soda because they sell the old fashioned sodas in glass bottles, the kind that you can't buy anywhere else. Like Creamsicle and Shirley Temple, the flavors like that.
Yeah.
Like the old classic.
The good flavors.
They sell it there. So we're doing all that. And then we're going to a lake that's along Route 66, taking them in the park. We can swim, we can hike, we can do all that and just have good old fashioned conversation and hang out. So we typically meet the 3rd Saturday of every month. Unless there's something else special going on in the community. We also march in the Martin Luther King Parade every year. We've participated in events to bring awareness around human trafficking, really trying to teach them to be engaged in their community as well. So getting ready for the next level of life once you graduate from high school, being engaged, putting your thinking cap on, and again, really us trying to be that supportive village for the family, because we've got kids that live with one parent, 2 parents, the grandparents, somebody else, all kinds of things. And even though I work with youth, I still have to pull in other mentors because my kids are used to me talking all the time.
Yeah, they're like, we need somebody new.
They need someone else that says the same thing, but it's golden because someone else said it.
Yeah. Well, and they always need that extra flavor, right? They're always like, I've heard this before. And then it starts, and that's why I always like to change things up, because when it stays the same pattern, it gets stale.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it's just the same old thing here. No, it's not the same old thing. That's why we have different,
flavor
right?
tea, it's got to be.
Exactly.
And I'll say, even if you're not local in Oklahoma City, we welcome your support however you can do it. We are a nonprofit. We don't charge our families anything to be part of the program. In fact, the only thing they ever pay for is we partner with a group for the ACT prep. They're trained teachers that are certified in ACT test prep. That class, if you're a family signing up on your own, is between $150 to $200. Because we're a nonprofit, they give us a deep discount. We pay a big chunk, and our families only have to pay $25 for a class that would normally cost $150 to $200. That, and like when we go on our summer trip, we pay for the biggest part of the trip, but like we say on the way home, we're going to go to McDonald's or something. Send your kid, $5-10 to eat dinner. That's it. That's the only thing they ever pay for that they're doing all year long. Even when we go to a museum, we found the museums have a grant that allow us to bring our group and the chaperones at no cost. So our families don't have to pay to be a part of it. They're not spending, dollars to join. So if you find our Reach Forward Foundation website, and we also have a Facebook page, we're always accepting donations to help us continue and expand upon what we do. Someone donated us a van so we can pick up our kids who need rides. We don't have a building, but we do have a van. So that is a year-round thing that we've been doing since 2018 to support the young people.
Oh, that is cool. That is really cool. And you said that you had an update on what's going on.
Else. This is a totally separate entity from the nonprofit.
Okay.
I noticed over the years, so Bold, Brave, and Courageous has a little workbook.
Oh, you have the book.
Yes, I've got it. This is what it looks like. So,
yeah, I have the picture on my screen. I was like, oh, I hope she has the book. The book is gorgeous.
So it's got a little workbook section in the back where they can kind of do a little bit of the work and start building their winning team, we call it. Who are their mentors? What's on your bucket list? Because if we're talking about exposing yourself to new things, you've got to have a bucket list to do that.
You have to.
So I started noticing over time, and just over a year after I published the book, a school district bought copies for every single 5th through 12th grade girl in the whole district, pulled the 5th through 8th grade girls out of class to another venue and gave me their girls for 4 hours. And the next day gave me all of their high school girls for 4 hours. So I created a whole workshop with group discussion questions, actual physical games where they could get up out of their seat and moved around. And those games still reinforce the message, and then take away extension activities that they could do on their own to still remember what we talked about. And what was probably the most impactful throughout the whole thing, I take anonymous questions. And I'm going to apologize. I'm asking one in my home to get the dogs if they start barking. Anonymous questions. So like my book doesn't even discuss sex and dating, because that's something I'm very candid and don't mind addressing in person if the venue is okay. But with the book, I knew that, every family is in a different space as far as their comfort level, and they want to be the first teacher, discussion, facilitator of those touchier topics. But just because girls are just naturally drawn to me, in those live workshops, that anonymous question box was getting all kinds of things. And we just addressed some of them as we go. It was to the point where after the first day, the superintendent said, we've got to bring our school counselors, because our girls are experiencing things that we didn't even know. And somehow in hearing from you in only 4 hours, they are comfortable to share, and to have that trustworthy adult voice. We've got to bring the counselors in just so we can take these questions back and see what other support we need outside of the classroom. So I noticed over the years, Bold, Brave, and Courageous is not just a book with the little talk. It is literally a teen girl mindset transformation program.
Oh, I love that.
So I created an actual program now. So, and it exists in 2 ways. For those who aren't local or within a travel distance or whatever, way before COVID, for some reason, I felt led to create kind of the curriculum kit. So you want me to address the girls, but maybe you don't have the budget to bring me out, or there's a schedule conflict. And by the way, audience, I've actually done this in Gaborone, Botswana. I will travel. I love travel. So there's a full implementation guide. So say a Boys and Girls Club or some other mentoring program wants to run it, but they want their staff to do it. They can't bring me out, what have you. They can purchase, I call it the DIY Project No Fear is what I call it, a mindset program. They have access to the implementation guide, and with all the activities in it, the books that they need for however many girls they have, and the facilitators to follow along. And I pre-recorded 6 short video vignettes that go with the 6 chapters, the 6 sections of the program, and that still allows their girls to hear from me, even though I'm not there. So
I
there's
like
that.
that.
Yeah. So there's that. You can do it anywhere in the world, or there's an actual 8-week program that I do live, Project No Fear. And the reason why it's 8 weeks, yes, the heart and the meat and potatoes of the content is 6 weeks, but you can't build rapport just walking in on day 1 going, we're going to start the never let anyone tell you. You can't do that.
Yeah,
So
no, you can't.
that extra session on the front end is just to speak with them informally. I'm WYJUANA. I enjoy this. Learn more about them.
Yeah.
What do they hope to get out of it by the end of our time together? And that last week, week 8, that's the celebration for all of those who have shown up, engaged, given them themselves. That's the graduation part where they get the completion certificate and we have a little party. So Project No Fear is an actual 8-week teen girl mindset transformation program that I can facilitate live or virtually. I actually have a list of boys and girls clubs across the country that come fall. In some states, they aren't having them come back physically into the clubs yet because their numbers aren't quite where they want them. So they may work with me for me to do a session with the girls once a week. So it can be provided virtually directly with me for 8 weeks, or in person, or you say, well, WYJUANA, that's a great program, but we would really want our own staff to do it. Then you can purchase the curriculum kit where you get the implementation guide with all the discussion questions, the games, the takeaway activities, the books you need, and the access to the proprietary video vignette. So that is my latest and greatest, and that is an extension of Bold, Brave, and Courageous, and just what WYJUANA Speaks Consulting does, period. And that consulting piece is because sometimes organizations just want to work with me and pick my brain. You know, what are some different ways that we can engage our teen girls? What are some ways of really building that rapport that maybe we haven't thought about before? So I'm a support, not just the teen girls directly, but anyone who is running a program for them, whether it be a big national thing like Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc., or you've got a local mentoring program, or your, community-based youth group, whatever it is, I'm here to support you and them, whichever way that, works best for the organization.
Well, that's awesome. I really like that you have turned that into like a mentorship and a transformation. I love the words that you're using. I love them because they're growing words. Have a bucket list. I tell everyone out there, all of the viewers out there, get a bucket list. Because
right.
it encourages us to travel. It encourages us to grow our minds, the mindset, change the mindset, try new jobs, different, activities. If we don't have a bucket list, we're really not doing anything. I find we're just kind of living,
right.
kind of doing that still water thing where it just stays the same. Okay, I'll get up at 9 and I'll go to work at 10 and I'll come home at 5. And, and then you ask that person, okay, well, what did you do in 2019? And they'll be like, well, I lived, I worked. Okay,
right.
like, did you write a book? Did you travel? Did you do And I tell that to my kids all the time, like, do things, make a bucket list, encourage, make goals,
Absolutely.
Because it encourages you to push yourself,
mm-hmm.
And as a parent and as a Mimi, you want to be a role model, right? And I really love that, Mimi. Like, I really love that. I'm a grandma, so I'm an Oma. In Germany is grandma. So yeah, I'm an Oma, you're a Mimi. So I kind of like that, that we're role models for the future generation,
Absolutely.
And that. So since we're on tea time, and I do this with everyone,
okay,
what does tea mean to WYJUANA?
Actually, that is a perfect question for me. I'm not saying this just because this is tea time with Miss Liz. I absolutely love tea. And my so tea for me, it's funny. It's a day starter for me and relaxation. I know that sounds funny, but it is part of my morning routine. And my mother and I haven't figured out how or why, but my mother is originally from Alabama, and she taught me to drink my tea with milk, just like they do in Britain.
Oh,
a lot of
sweet tea,
think that's odd that I put milk in my tea. So clearly, when I had the chance to travel and speak in Japan, I fell in love with their Japanese milk tea. Love it. So it's fun. It's a whole tea is a whole experience for me.
Yep.
It's funny how I use it on both ends to get my day started as
And
part
to
of my
come
routine,
down.
ease me in, and to help me settle down at the end. I use it on both ends. And my newest tea, I don't know, that might be a future. I don't know if I'm stepping ahead if you're going to ask me about flavors I enjoy.
No, go ahead. When it comes to tea, just let the pot flow.
So I'm in a business program this year, and we have quarterly retreats. The most recent retreat at the end of May was in Cabo, Los Cabo, Mexico. And about 2-3 days in, we just decided to take a trip, walk away from the resort, even though everything there was wonderful. There was no reason to leave. And we went to a store that they had Walmart there, which is funny. I saw Walmart as we were going to
Walmart's everywhere.
Yeah, they have Walmart, but this store was not a Walmart, but it reminded me of a Walmart.
Okay.
And so I went to the tea section because in another country, I always feel like you can find a different tea. I want some treats and things that I can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. And
I found this brand of tea called Tess. And what's interesting, it's actually a Russian brand. Very interesting. It's a Russian brand, Tess, Tess. And I brought home 2 flavors that just sounded absolutely magical to me. One of them is called Cosmopolitan Party. It's hibiscus, cranberry, and grapefruit. Yes.
No, that sounds yummy.
So it comes out red. And not only is it a wonderful flavor, but you get the richness of it because it's not in the little flat square tea bag. It's in the tea bag that is actually mesh and shapes like a prism. Oh. And you can actually see like pretty hardy leaves inside of it. The other one, I don't know why I don't remember the name of it. I don't know the name of it, but it comes out yellow. It's green tea, mango, and pineapple. And you can literally see little bits of dried pineapple and dried mango is in the tea mix.
Oh, that is good tea.
And those
pineapple's good.
Yeah, those teas are amazing. And I actually discovered they are available on Amazon for the same like $4 that I paid in Mexico. A lot of times when things are export, they are very expensive. Yeah. But they're on Amazon for only $3.99.
Oh, I'll be checking that out.
Yeah. So TESS is the brand, and I just rotate. I'm in love with my Cosmopolitan Party, and I'm sorry that I can't remember the name of the other one, but it'll be obvious because you'll see the ingredients. It's kind of yellow letters, and you'll see that it's got the green tea, the pineapple, and the mango, so you won't miss it.
I'll send you a message. I'll say, is this the right one?
Yes, they are both.
I'm actually drinking Bear Trap tonight, which is the hibiscus flower, the pineapple, the pomegranate, and it's like a purplish tea because your favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
So, and I'm wearing purple.
You are wearing purple.
And I'm wearing purple, and I have a purple teacup. So I love it. I just bring in everything that is personal.
I've got a purple teacup.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
And this is from an awesome bed and breakfast that is near our son's college. That has the most amazing food. And it's over 100 years old. It's called the Richards House in Dubuque, Iowa. And
I'll have to check it out.
These tea mugs, coffee, whatever you drink, are handmade. You can actually see the clay bottom, like the raw clay bottom. And so I've got a purple mug, but red is my other favorite color. So I'm wearing a red top, but I've got my purple mug.
Oh, and I love the mug. I want to travel like everywhere where all my guests are. I just want to come and visit you guys all in person and just check out all of these cool places. Like, I can't just wait to get on a plane and travel again. So
that'd be cool. Well, I'm in Oklahoma City. Let me know if you ever come this way.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will. And we'll have tea together and we'll check out all of that cool stuff. So now with the letter TEA, what words come to mind for you?
Oh goodness. You want a word for each letter?
Yeah, for each letter.
Wow. So for T, teachable.
Oh.
I don't care how old you are, you can't get to the next level and live out your fullest potential if you're not teachable. There's always, and that's even why reach forward is like, you haven't arrived until you die.
Yeah.
Death is you haven't arrived until you get there. So teachable. For E, boy, quite a few good words come there. I think you need to be teachable. The E, I might be making up a word. Is explorative a word? Exploratory.
I like that.
Yeah. I think maybe it's
Or you can make up
exploratory.
your own language. I do it all the time.
I know that exploratory is a word because if something is wrong with you and they don't know what, you have exploratory surgery. Life is so much more fun when you're exploratory. Don't just sit in a box. This is what I tell girls all the time. They think it's funny how teenagers will say, I'm doing me. And they think they're so original, but when you really look at them, they wear their hair the way their friends do. They dress just like their friend. They only want to do what their friend wants to do. Don't be that person.
Yeah, be
Live life to its fullest by being exploratory.
Yeah.
That could be going somewhere new, doing something different, reading a new author, watching a different type of TV show. You can start so small. Just try a different cuisine. That's simple. Go to a different restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
So, teachable, exploratory. The E or the A. No, that's another kind of T. T-E-E.
That's a DD.
Yeah. The A. Action.
Oh, I like that.
Action.
I love action.
Don't just talk about it, be about it.
I like that.
Do something.
Yeah.
Everything I've wanted to do, it left from my heart to wrapping my mind around it to doing it. Even just speaking about it is an action.
Yeah.
It causes everything to line up when you begin to speak about it and say it out loud and talk about it with the folks who can get you on the right alignment, teach you what you need to know, connect you with the people you need to know to get that thing going.
Yeah, I like that. I say it all the time.
Exploratory and action.
Yeah, I action is one thing I am firm on. A lot of people just talk. Get the action, get moving, get motivated, get encouraged, move the mind.
Exactly.
And ask questions. Always ask questions. I tell my kids that all the time. Ask a question. If it doesn't sound right, ask another question.
Right. I'm like, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask because you're left in the ignorance because you didn't get an answer.
Yeah.
Or at least the open door to an answer. If I don't know, at least I can find somebody or Google it. We'll figure it out.
Good old story. I use Google for everything. If I can't find it, I'm like, Google, help me here.
Right.
And sometimes, the series, I'll ask her, and she'll like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, well, thank you very much. And then she'll be like, no problem.
That's too funny.
Yeah, sometimes I have a conversation with this phone, and it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. And she's like, well, I don't know how to help you. Right. So what final message would you like to share with everybody out there today on what is going on with the world and with the teens and all that? What can we change? Like, if you could change anything, what would you change?
The main thing we need to change with teens, be way more engaged, even as parents, than we probably are. And I say that because about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I was sitting in a training, kind of an enrichment training. It was with an organization called Modern Health, and it was about parenting. And the facilitator said something that even though I work with preteens and teens, I didn't know it. It's like, I'm aware that the brain is not fully developed until they're 25, till we are 25. So you're asking them to have a level of thought that they don't have yet. But she said, a teenager needs the same level of support that they needed from you when they were 5 years old. That literally gave me a kick in the pants as a parent.
Wow.
I was like, what do you mean that this 14-year-old or 19-year-old or 16-year-old needs the same level of support as when they were 5? When they were 5, we're trying to figure out how to tie your shoes, how to wipe well, how to blow your nose, brush your teeth, get ready for kindergarten. She said, I know that's like mind blowing, but the reason why, just as a 5-year-old, is they're just now old enough to, have a level of independence, and school is going to be new and all the academic things they have to learn and navigating friendships and all of that. Your teenager has just stepped into a whole new level. They're not a little kid. Things are changing in their body. Socially, they're trying to figure out how to fit in. They want friends. They're trying to please you. They're trying to get good grades. All of these things. They're learning to drive. All these thoughts and feelings and social pressure. This whole new Pandora's box just opened up in the teens.
Yeah.
They don't have any background experience for that. They were a little kid.
But that kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. We look at them, and just like my 14-year-old is bigger than me.
Yeah, mine are all bigger than me too.
Yeah.
I'm like a little midget mommy.
Yeah, we look at them, and just because they're getting taller, their voice is changing.
Yep.
You know, they work a job, mine work, they drive. You think, well, you're almost an adult. But mentally, they're not there. All of these things are new. And so I'm like, my word of wisdom, again, that I just heard that in myself 2.5, 3 weeks ago, that changed my whole paradigm. I've got to change the way I approach my own kids and others, like remind parents and educators, just because they're 6 feet tall or whatever, they are not mini adults. And we can't just be laissez-faire and, hey, go figure it out. That was a major kick in the pants. So we've got to be way more engaged. I realize as a parent, it's possible to finish your work day. You're tired. So it's like boxing. You retire to your corner. They retire to theirs. You live under the same roof, but you're not engaging.
Yeah.
You might not know them like you think you do. And mental health wise, you absolutely need to check in.
Yeah.
All this being closed in and lacking the social outlets that they're used to, you better check on a frequent basis on how they're doing and how they're feeling and what they're thinking, because you might be surprised. And so that's my word of wisdom. We need to engage our young people, our teenagers, on a different level more frequently, and don't treat them like mini adults, because they're not. They're not. They need way more than we think they do. And when you start talking to them, you're going to know it.
Yeah. You will. And especially, like you said, with the lockdown and everything, mental health has increased immensely. Yeah. People have to understand how much it's grown. You know, mental health needs to be spoken about. It needs to be checked in. You know, we need to be checking.
Absolutely.
You know? And if someone says they're okay, maybe that was just their way of saying, I don't want to talk about it either. You know, maybe they want you to push and say, are you sure you're okay? You know, or would you like to talk about something else? You know, because I know for myself, I live with mental health. And when I say I'm okay, I actually want somebody to say, are you sure you're okay, Liz?
Right.
So, you know, so our children, they need that as well. So.
And okay is a default we've all gotten used to. How are you doing? No, it's not okay. How are you doing? I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm fine. I'm okay.
I'm great. It's like default.
Yeah.
It's like, are you really? Or you have to ask me, do you really want to know how I feel? Or are we just kind of doing this in passing?
Exactly. Right. And there's a lot of that too. You know, people asking if you're okay, but they really just want that okay from you so they can go along.
Right.
You know, they don't really care if you are okay, you know, and sometimes I'll do that. I'll do like a little test with my kids and all that. They'll say, Mom, how are you? I'm okay. Now my oldest knows when I say I'm okay. She's like, Mom, are you sure?
Right.
I was like, yes, today I'm sure. Today I'm okay.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah. Well, I really want to thank you for joining me today in the studio, and to all the viewers who are going to watch the replay and that who have been watching. I do see your comments. You know, there's many comments coming in from different platforms. So for some reason, they're not coming in the studio, but they're coming in on my phone here, so I'm not sure what's going on. But a lot of people are saying, we have one comment here that says, thank you for the work that you do with the young ladies, and how can we reach out to you, and how can we find you? So I think those are questions that need to be answered. So I do have them, so I'm going to put them into the studio, but you can let me know what you have and where they can find you, and I'll just slide all the links into the conversation here.
My website is just my first name, wyjuana.com. There is a contact form there. I also am on Facebook under my real name, WYJUANA Montgomery. So you can find me there. There is also a WYJUANA Speaks Consulting Facebook page, but you can find me on Facebook. And then my email address, if you want to reach out, is wyjuana@wyjuana.com. I figure my name is unique enough to have its own domain and make it easy for you to find me. So I would love to connect and support you, your work in any way that I can. And yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm a little bit lagging on being consistent there, but I'm getting better. But yes.
And you're able to get her book on Amazon. So
yes.
I have the link there as well. It's also on the Facebook page on my Miss Liz's Tea Times, Making a Difference. So if you'd like to purchase a book, I'm going to be grabbing a book. I just like supporting all of my Tea Time guests with all of the work that they do and the products that they sell and that. And I love reading. So, and I just love the title, like bold, brave, and courageous. Like those are 3 things that I stand for. And that. So again, if you'd like to get a book, it's on Amazon. She does have a video that I have here as well that explains a little bit on the book, I believe.
Yes. You're all over it. You are all over it.
I do my homework.
Yes. The book has like a little trailer. Yes, you are all over it.
So I have that as well. And then I have your YouTube channel. So she does have a YouTube channel as well where you can check out some of the videos and that. So she's all over. So you can check out and you can get all of this. Like, be sure to tune into all of the guests and support all of the guests, because each tea time is different and each one brings something different. So I will be reaching out to you again, right, WYJUANA, for the reunion tea time at the end of the year. So I bring back all the guests, and I think you'll be connecting with a few people because there's a lot of people that have the same. You guys will resonate a lot because you're doing the same kind of work, empowering young girls and that. So, and I'll connect you to a few people that are doing things for young teens as well. So maybe you guys can collaborate and do something together as well. Sounds great. I know that what you're doing is in the States only right now, but you could, with virtual land, you could do globally and you can, kind of connect together. So, absolutely. And again, Tea Time is for everyone out there who has a story, who is making a difference. It's the everyday person that doesn't get seen. It's a person that is making a change in their life, in their community, in their countries. This is what Tea Time is about. It's an awareness platform. So I do open doors for you because I do share all of your links. I do share all your connections and all that. So again, WYJUANA, thank you again so much for joining me for Tea Time. And I will see everyone on the 24th. And we will be talking with, I can't remember her name, which is sad. I really don't like when I do that. But maybe check out the Facebook page and you'll check her out. But she'll be speaking on the Blind Foundation. So her son has a low vision and she'll be sharing her personal mother story on that. And she writes children's books. So again, books are important. We need to be reading. We need to keep the mind busy. So you'll be seeing a lot of authors this year on Tea Time. So from different categories and different age groups and that. So I think it's important that we get back into the books. So again, thank you. And thank you to all the viewers. If you are watching a replay, please say that you're watching a replay. And if you'd like to reach out, please reach out. And if you have any questions, I can forward them all to WYJUANA, and she will get them answered. So if you have any questions and you just want to send them privately to Miss Liz, you can, and I will get them to WYJUANA. And again, thank you. And I will see everybody on June 24th with a new Tea Time. And then my next one will be June 27th, where I have Morris the Connector coming on. And that should be an empowerment one for the men out there and the women as well. But I think the men are going to really enjoy Morris. So again, thank you. And I will see you all on the 24th for a new Tea Time. And we will make a difference, one cup of tea at a time.
Yay. Bye-bye.